Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Sound TV. Today's video is on the FIFINE AM8. Now, here we have a USB XLR microphone, and that's really good because it allows you to have the option of either using a USB-C cable or, as you can see here, you have a USB-A attachment, which is awesome. They've included that so you can use either input and of course the XLR. You also do have a 3.5 millimeter jack for monitoring, and we'll be talking about all these different aspects of this microphone, the different options and how you can approach it with your setup. Now, this microphone does have the cardioid pattern, and what does that mean? Well, that means that it picks up everything that's directly in front of it and it ignores everything behind or around it, which is great, right? For ambient noise, maybe some background noise, your keyboard, your mouse, maybe your computers, maybe your neighbor, maybe something's going outside or even around you. It allows for that to cut a little bit of that noise away. Now, of course, you do have the windscreen that's included, which is great. Something that you kind of see a little bit more common nowadays, but it is a great add-on, which again, this does help with some of that noise reduction and also plosives, right? So maybe you might be speaking a little bit too close. Maybe some of the words, the S's, the P's, some of those things kind of stick out. So it kind of cuts back on that, which is great, especially if you're live streaming, chatting, in-game talking, or even doing some voiceover work. This works really well for that, and it allows for clear, cleaner sound when you're speaking. Now, one thing that I really found super interesting is the setup with this microphone, right? Which this is what we typically would call a boom stand. Now, this allows you to, of course, attach it to a bass stand, which this microphone does have one. It comes included. You have a standard one, which is kind of like smaller. They do so one that is a bit bigger, a little bit taller. And of course, you can connect it to a boom mic like this, which is awesome. So just the fact that it has that, it does kind of separate itself away from the boom mic or any attachment like a stand, like I previously stated. And that does help a little bit with some of the noise and anything that it might pick up, especially if you hit the mic or anything like that. This actually does help a little bit, and you do have the ability here to adjust it, right? So if you do move it up and you kind of found the spot where you want it, you can of course tighten it up. You can of course tighten it loose and then adjust it as you need. Now, one thing that I really like about this, and you know I'm a RGB lover, especially this purple hue, all right, is with this mic, you actually have the button that allows you to change the different colors. So here, of course, I'm rocking the nice purple that I like. You could turn it to a blue. You could turn it to this dynamic type of thing where it kind of circulates and it changes to different colors. And then it does have this different mode where it turns on and off the colors, which is kind of cool. So it'll cycle through different colors, but of course, it'll change little by little. And if you do want to turn it off, of course, you can just hold it down and it'll turn it off. And then if you turn it back on, it'll turn back on. Now, I like that because it'll actually save whatever previously mode you had it on if you turn it off. So even if let's say I change colors, right? Let's say I want this blue, but I want it off. But I'm like, you know what? Never mind. I want it on. Bam, it brings back that color that you previously had. Now here you have your gain knob, and the gain knob allows you to turn down your microphone, right? Or turn it up. Now I have it about the 12 o'clock, okay? And it just really depends on you scenario, how far away, you know, if you get a little loud, if you get a little quieter. So you just got to kind of adjust it to your own voice. Everybody speaks a little loud. I kind of tend to kind of speak more of like a conversational tone. I don't get too loud unless I'm like hype, you know, in game, laughing with my friends. That's normally how that goes. And then of course you have the monitor knob, which allows you to hear yourself back. So remember that 3.5 millimeter jack we talked about? So you're able to connect some headphones on there. You can actually listen to yourself live. That way your listeners or your friends, if you're in game or even on Discord, they can hear you And if you need to adjust accordingly, you can do that on the fly, which is nice, right? You can turn that knob down or up with the mic, and then bam, you have that adjustment on the fly. You don't have to worry too much about that. Now, another feature that I thought was pretty cool, and it's on the mic. Now, it is a little hard to see just because it is behind the microphone, but you have the ability, and I'm gonna show you on camera, where you can turn the mute or mute button off, right? So you click it and it's green, which you can talk and it's live, or click off, bam, you're back live. Everybody's good, everybody can hear you. So just something to think about when you have that mic in front of you. You can adjust it accordingly. Now, one thing I really like about this microphone is that everything is included. Something about FIFINE and their product, whether it's their microphones or their headphones, is that everything's on board. We are at this point where, of course, you got software and other programs you can use, but the fact that you have a lot of this stuff on the fly right in front of you manually is really nice, because as you know, technology is taking us places where everything needs software or some sort of application. So this is kind of cool. But do remember that with this microphone, you can use this with different products like OBS, Discord, in-game chat. Remember, this microphone can be used with Mac, PC, PS4, and PS5. Now, aesthetically, I think this is a good looking microphone. It's very simple, very straightforward. I do like its boxy look. I don't know, I'm a very symmetrical person, so this aesthetically is nice. Now, you do have the option of black, white, and pink, so I think that's great, especially as someone who may have a different setup, maybe different color. You can kind of color coordinate and have your setup looking exactly how you want it. And of course, RGB does complement that just a little bit, in my opinion. Now, at this point, you have heard the mic through its USB input. And the reason I've used it this way is because I think this is the option, or the way a lot of people are going to first use it. And if you want to get a little bit more technical, you can get a mix amp or a sound card or something that can support this microphone through USB or XLR. So now I'm actually going to switch over to XLR, and I'm going to connect it to my Go XLR so you can hear the difference with the microphone. And as far as you can tell right now, there's no EQ or nothing. All right, so no EQ. It's just my voice. It's what it sounds like. That's what you're going to get. And of course, once I connect it to my Go XLR, I'm going to show you no EQ, and then I'm going to show you the EQ that I use for my Shure SM7B that I've been using for years now. That way you can have something to kind of play with. All right, so again, this is my voice with just a regular USB cable, and you can kind of pick up on, of course, the voice is going to go up and down. We don't have no compression, we don't have anything, but again, like I told you, you can find all those different tools with OBS, Discord, and even other applications. Again, a mixer like the Go XLR. All right, now this is the FIFINE AM8. As you can see, it is connected via XLR. Unfortunately, you do lose RGB when you connect it via XLR, but again, like I emphasize, USB works just fine. I just wanted to give you guys this option of an audio sample. That way you can compare. Unfortunately, connecting it to my Go XLR, I do have EQ and a little bit of compression, and I'm sorry that I'm unable to disable that. I've been having some audio issues this week. I had a power surge, and I think it's kind of messed up some of my PCs and my audio equipment, but I think I was able to finally get potentially a good, clean session so you guys can kind of hear and compare. And again, don't be intimidated. Remember, USB today is pretty king in the sense that it's so easy to plug and play, and there's so many different applications and softwares out there that you can actually use to really tweak your voice how you want it, right? Whether you want it a little bit brighter, warmer, neutral, flat, it's really up to you and the application in which you want to use this microphone. So at 50 to 55 US dollars, I think this is a great option. Over 10 years ago, I bought my Shure SM7B, and it's been the microphone that I've used for a long time. I wish 10 plus years ago, we had as much options and as much variety as we have today. So this is a great alternative if you're trying to jump into the door and get something simple without breaking the bank. You have a lot of onboard things, and the applications that are out there that you can use the microphone with are really, really good. So if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you like and subscribe. Shout out to FIFINE for sending out this microphone and for all the support that you guys have been showing me. Happy holidays for those who celebrate the holidays, especially here in the US. I love you, and I hope to see you back soon. Peace.